All right, so injury-wise, Travis Homer did have a hamstring injury earlier in practice today, so obviously listed as doubtful. Jalen had a illness, but feel good about him playing on game day, so we'll see how the next couple of days go. Questions?
You optimistic on Braxton?
On much I can be, yeah. We'll see how it goes, though.
Is he been yet or no?
I know.
No, okay.
I know.
And Roshan has.
Yes. Roshan's good to go.
When you go back to last week's game, Caleb had some struggles with accuracy, and to my best guess, without knowing progression, it seemed like he missed a couple of reads too. Is that possibly a cumulative effect of all the hits that he's taken over the course of the season, and how that can impact you mentally as much as physically?
I don't think so. I think it's more to do with just how the game played out, and then when it comes to some early pressures, guys getting edge, moving off a spot, not getting his feet. So it's kind of more about that than accumulation of the rest of the season.
What have you seen in Tevin today? Does he seem like he's in line to go?
We'll see how it goes the next couple of days, but just limited in practice, doing some reps. We'll see how it goes tomorrow and also Sunday before the game.
What's the option behind him?
We have a number of different guys rotating that same spots because have a couple guys kind of just rode in the last few days or so and kind of just mix it up some as far as a few hours between guards and tackles at the same spot.
Times when a running back for the Bills leads their team in receiving, does that excite you about the possibility of what you guys can do with DeAndre Swift, who's a capable pass catcher?
Yeah, I mean, we had a couple of opportunities in the first game we played him, and missed on one on the third down in the first half. That was kind of underthrown. Also, we could have come back just got to compete for the ball. But I think you talk about always having a matchup league, a team that plays a ton of man coverage, have an opportunity to get some guys in different spots, and linebackers on tight ends, linebackers on running back. So, yeah, we might have a plan for it. So we'll see.
What kind of boost does it give you to have a physical back coming back in Roshan Johnson and what he can do out there?
Yeah, I mean, the more the merrier. I think when it comes to the running back spot, you want to be able to have enough depth there because when you have different guys in that room from a body type standpoint, Travis also provided some downhill runability for us as well. But, Roshan kind of made a big hit this year when it comes to short yardage goal line, getting the tough yards. So it's good to get those guys back kind of rolling together.
The last time Caleb saw these guys, obviously, the game ended the way it did. What was the coaching point for Caleb in particular? He's checking the play and something deeper because he sees the clock. What could he have done differently in that situation?
I would say we got to be better as coaches. I wouldn't make it about him. So that to me is the biggest coaching point.
How was the second half of that game went favorably for you guys offensively? What did you notice that clicked in that got you guys, particularly in the passing game, into a groove?
So third down conversions. I think we had opportunity in the first half to convert on third down. We didn't. Had a couple situations where there was a penalty on an early third down that was pretty well designed as far as to set up to beat man coverage. We had two penalties on the same play, OPI on Cole and also a holding call on Darnell to kind of negate that, but also just overall execution. Like I said before, I think we had pretty good efficiency on first and second down. This is more about being able to stay on the grass on third down.
Thomas, from play caller to play caller, what do you appreciate about what Ben Johnson does with the Lions and their playmakers?
Well, I don't study the Lions' offense, so I can't. I'm not going to talk in great detail, but obviously, I think it's a matchup league and having some great weapons. They got a ton of first, second round draft picks up front, some first round draft picks at receiver, a couple draft picks at running back, a couple draft picks at tight end. So some talented guys better move around, put in different spots. But I think from what I've seen, the balance of the run in the past, obviously having gone against them and watching the game when our defense is up, I think that balance of that kind of getting it going, but also some creativity as well when it comes to getting some different guys involved in different spots.
Thomas, how do you feel about guys celebrating a play like when you guys are trailing?
How do I feel about it? I really haven't comment about it. I mean, it's not that big of a deal to me. I think it's hard to score in this league. I think guys work their butts off to get in the end zone and score touchdowns. I'm sure people have different opinions about it, but they probably either haven't scored touchdowns before or haven't scored touchdowns in a while. So, but to me, I don't really care.
Thomas, why do you feel like your offensive line has struggled at the level it has in recent weeks?
I think obviously when you end up having guys in different spots, injuries play a part in it. I think also got to give credit to a couple of opponents who play some pretty good defenses. As we talked about from a matchup standpoint on the outside when it comes to skill guys, there are also matchups when it comes to up front. I think that's when you have known passing situations that kind of make it difficult for any O-line when it comes to them knowing be able to dictate the flow of the game because you're playing from behind. That has a play in it as well. So I think the more we can do a really good job of staying in games, staying balanced, that will kind of negate some of those problems also.
Is there one thing or two things that you wanna see Caleb do Sunday?
Play well and be himself.
As an extension of that, what's the realistic growth that he can squeeze out of these last 20 days or so of the season?
I mean, I don't know if you can put a ceiling on what realistic growth is like. I think you've seen opportunities where he's made some leaps and bounds. I think a lot of it has to do with our overall development from an offensive standpoint, how the flow of the game goes, but also our guys play around him. And again, just trying to always find ways to put not just him, but our entire offense in the best spots with play calls.
You've talked a lot about his confidence and how it doesn't get checked. Do you still talk with him even with that confidence going through, what you guys are going through right now?
Absolutely. I'm kind of unwavering in my belief. And I think as far as being the same guy every single day, I try to present that to the entire group and encourage those guys to be the exact same way, regardless of circumstance. I think you kind of have the true test of who individuals are when they face adversity and see how they respond to it. Because everybody is great when things are great. But I want to see how guys respond when things aren't going great, when you have struggles yourself. And so I think he's been pretty consistent.
Coach, you are obviously walking into less than ideal, very tough situation, being the interim coach of this team at this point in the season. But you don't reach this level without having aspirations of being a long-term head coach.
Right.
So you look at it half full and say, hey, it's a great opportunity for me to establish myself and maybe get this job or the next. But there's a flip side to say maybe if this narrative is spun the wrong way, it could be detrimental to your long-term growth and goal. Do you think about that part of it at all?
I don't think about it at all. And the reason why I don't think about it is because of my past experiences. I understand I don't control my future at all. And I think we oftentimes arrogantly believe we do, and we don't. And also having opportunities to be in different spots. Obviously, coming here last year, this was not on anybody's bingo card as far as the first opportunity or being in an interim head coach role. So I just put the work in. I let the work speak for itself. I think I've done enough around this league as far as guys I've been connected to can speak well on my behalf. And regardless of the ideal or not ideal scenario, I'm gonna make the most of every opportunity I'm given. So that's all I kind of focus on. The rest I can't control.
Sorry, to that point of what guys have to say about you, Coach O'Connell spent, y'all spent longer than usual talking after the game. Is that what was, I know what he said was private. What was the sentiment though?
I was just encouraging. Obviously, we've known each other for the last couple of years, worked together for 2 years in LA. He's always been great to me as far as his involvement in what he can kind of help me with as far as advice kind of moving forward. But it was I'm not gonna go in detail what he said, but definitely encouraging conversation.
Does it still feel like you're kind of drinking from a fire hose right now with everything just that's on your plate versus what it was, or is it slowing down a little bit?
Honestly, it slowed down a ton. Obviously, the first week was a different deal because it was Friday, getting notified. I already planned to go home, so I went home anyway, for those couple of days and tried to have some type of a normal experience around my wife and my kids, which it wasn't 100% normal. And then come back on a Monday with the press conference first, roll into that first week. But I think it's kind of slowed down for sure. I think having the help of guys around it from a staff standpoint has helped out as well because it's not a one-man show at all, whether it be in a coordinator or being in the head coach role. But I feel pretty good about how the process goes.
What made it not normal? Were you on the phone the whole time? Was your mind just kind of thinking about other stuff?
No, I definitely went on the phone.
Or anything like that?
Definitely went on the phone. I put my phone down. So I used my phone when I needed to call certain people. Because, of course, my phone is blowing up with, a number of different things and appreciate people that reach out with the support of it. But most of them have an idea of what I'm about to walk into. So I just try to keep my mind clear of that. But it was back and forth between thinking about, what I wanted to do, the approach, the first couple messages, and also trying to just enjoy the time at home on a Saturday, watch some college football, talking some trash. So it was a little bit of both. Did not go to dinner, though. I was at the house the whole time.
Was Georgia playing that day?
That's a good question.
That wasn't the Georgia Tech overtime game.
I don't think so. Was it that week? Was it? You got a better memory than me. I did watch it though. This good old fashioned clean hate. So I was 4-0 against Georgia Tech, but it's always a battle. It's a good game.
7 OTs. That's right.
4-0.
8 OTs.
Even with Calvin Johnson, so he's a really good player though.
Mm-hmm.